All right, welcome to another episode of the Freezin 4 NFC North Podcast, episode 61, 2023, Week 4 review, Week 5 previews. Lions sack the pack, Vikings get their first W, and the Bears absolutely collapse to the joy of many others in this division. Yes, I know, Craig, you're excited about that. So let's just kind of introduce everyone as we getting started. Craig, where can everyone find you as we get started?
Yeah, you can find me at dailynorsman.com and on Twitter at GA_Skol.
Absolutely. And welcome back. Seventh letter. Where can everyone find you, sir?
At the top of the NFC North.
Yes, sir.
Like I said, had to say that. You need to keep saying that.
Probably going to keep happening, but
woo!
14 more years
on X, Twitter, same OG on Instagram and Facebook.
Very good. And welcome back, Dale from AvgCheese. Where can everyone find you?
Yeah, you can find us on the Twitters at AvgCheese, and we also have content on our website, www.avgcheese.com.
Always great episodes. I didn't catch this one yet. Actually, this might be more entertaining, this one from the Lions. Have you posted that yet?
It just dropped tonight, actually, probably an hour ago or so. Yeah, lots of cussing on our AvgCheese podcast.
Yes, love it. I am going to watch that.
Loss.
I may have to watch, instead of the Bears tomorrow night, I may have to watch the Lions-Packers game again.
Listen to that after the game. After the Bears get blown out, then you can listen to the AvgCheese and listen to how sad we are about getting mangled by the Lions.
Oh, man.
I don't know if we're gonna get blown out, but we have a guest. I have some backup, and Adam Karnick, a fellow Bears fan. Welcome back, and where can everyone find you?
Oh, thanks for having me back. You can find me on Twitter at Adam_Karnick, Karnik.
Absolutely.
And I host Chi-Town Weekly on Monday night, 7:00 Central, Spreaker.com. It's become a wonderful group therapy session every Monday night.
We as Bears fans need that. And like I was telling you earlier, my solace and my therapy is focusing on Jordan Love and his miscues. And I love to see that, literally. So let's just kind of get started and kind of do an autopsy of what happened, what we saw last Thursday night. And I'm going to go ahead and start with the victor goes to spoil. So seventh letter, what happened?
What happened?
Packers. Yeah.
Oh, man.
What had happened was...
I was like, and I like this guy. It's not Trev. It's not Trev. I told him what was going to happen. I think that the Packers are kind of soft, man. Like I don't know. Like we just ran the ball at them. We were able to, after the interception, it was, we took our foot off the gas at the beginning of the third quarter. Packers are a good team, so they're gonna rev it up a little bit. But Jordan Love again, like his inaccuracy and that 50%, man, it just he actually threw over 60 this game.
Mm-hmm.
But that inability to be accurate and make he made some beautiful throws. Like it was like a 3rd and 14 or something like that he made a throw, to get back in our red zone. Like he's a good quarterback and he'll get better, but just thankfully not week 4.
So, as we're talking about that, give me some helmet stickers for the Lions. Obviously, we want to celebrate the Lions.
What you mean? I don't know what a helmet sticker is.
Oh, helmet sticker. Who had some big plays? Obviously, Hutchinson.
The whole defensive line played great.
Yes.
Like I forget who the gentleman was that was on Twitter, and he was saying I was like, well, Aaron Jones get back. We can't let him run crazy. I would like to make them one-dimensional. Jordan Love doesn't have the highest completion percentage. So if we could just make him throw the ball a lot, we got more than a chance. And that's what happened. Like they couldn't run the ball. And if they can't run the ball, they can't beat us. You know what I'm saying? Yep. They don't have, I guess, what the Seahawks have. They have one fast guy. Well, 2 now, because Reed is pretty fast too. And they tried to cheat for y'all.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
they did.
The thing about
the best play we had all game.
Yeah, I've seen us crumble after being cheated my whole life. And now that we are able to overcome that, that's a good team. The whole defensive line played well. I even think our linebackers played well. Jerry Jacobs had a get back game. He played well. He was, they made him shut down his Twitter for two weeks. Of course he's back. But like it was I've never wanted nothing more in my life than to beat the shit out the Packers. And
hey, I wanted that too. And I love the story. I don't know if you guys have all heard the story about what Jordan Love did prior to the game. That he went actually to the Packers sideline and tapped Jordan Love on the shoulder and said,
Aiden Hutchinson did that. Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Hutchinson did that. Yes. He went on the sideline and what did he say? Basically strap it up. It's going to be a long fucking game.
Yeah. Then he harnessed his inner Kobe right there. That's a Kobe Bryant move. He stole that from Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant.
Man, I thought you was about to tell me Jordan Love bought one of our people's mom a ticket again, man.
He knows he can't do that versus the Lions. So,
cool.
But yeah. So what are your thoughts on the game, Dale?
I mean, 7th letter is being far too kind. The Lions, the defensive line of the Lions just mangled our offensive line the whole game long. Now, we could make mistakes, right? Royce Newman is a fucking turnstile. He's terrible at guard. Our center, Josh Myers, we should have picked Creed Humphrey. We had Rasheed Humper Walker at left tackle. It was just a disaster out there. John Runyon is a serviceable player when he's surrounded by good players.
Right.
But when he's surrounded by shit, which is what he was, he's also shit.
Yeah, he's like an Anzalone.
Right. He can play the game, but he can't help out. He can't do other things. He's not going to go outside of his skill set because it's very limited.
All right.
The Packers line got mangled. The Lions only had to rush 4 all night long.
That's crazy.
Against 5 offensive linemen.
That's crazy.
And of course, we don't chip with the back. We don't put a tight end back there. We don't try to do anything that will help out with protection. We're just going to let Jordan Love run for his life the whole game. It was a disaster from the get-go. So we went backwards after the pick. We didn't even move forwards.
It sounds like a Bears offense, right,
It
Adam?
does. It was very Bears. I do know now what you feel like every week.
I was going to say, I did story of our game too. My goodness,
Yes.
we can swap horrible offensive line stories.
Although what I was going to say, though, what I heard from a lot of Packer fans is that they weren't happy coaching from the coaching. Are you?
No.
Yeah.
If you know that you have 3 backup linemen in the game, essentially, then you better scheme around that. You got to figure something out. No, you're not going to run the ball very well. We get that. But you got to then, I don't know, dink and dunk. You got to figure something out that's going to get the ball out of your quarterback's hands and not just let him do 5 and 7 step drops and run for his life after that. It was very bad play calling. And I know LaFleur beat up on the defense. And I mean, and they should have been because they just got run over all night long. The Packers had 8 minutes they had the football for 8 minutes in the first half. 8.
For 1 first down, something like that.
Right.
It was glorious.
Run over for almost the entire first half. You can't stop anybody. And the Lions have a great offensive line, so you can't play to that strength.
Yeah, I love my favorite part of the game. I remember, I think it was about, I think Jim Caldwell was coach. And I think, remember y'all turned a wide receiver to a running back? And I just remember we were trying to come back and y'all just kept pounding, but because y'all were better than us, you know? So when y'all made y'all little comeback, we get the ball, 14 plays, 75 yards, almost 9 minutes. Yep. I said, oh, man.
Run it. And why wouldn't you? Against the Packers, why wouldn't you run it on every play? That's what I would do. I don't want to be the smartest guy.
And I'm the type of person that just believes, it's certain people that'll never win. And it's not because they aren't skilled or good, but Quay Walker played great, right? He's fast as hell, big as hell. But on the reverse to Khalif Raymond, when he kind of was like, got me, and just didn't race to the ball, I'm like, that's telling.
Yeah.
And, and the middle linebacker is kind of the brain, the leader, them and the safety, you know what I'm saying? And when your leader is acting like that, Gary played his ass off. Like,
Yeah.
he was the only one playing on defense. Quay Walker, too, to an extent. And then that reverse, the jumping over the guy, which I think was like the coach told him to do it, because even the guy in front of him kind of leaned to the side, expected it. So it was like, I mean, of course he's gonna get the grunt of it because of his past and being ejected twice last year. But he played well. But it's just certain little things you kind of see from your leaders that just ain't it. Finesseful on offense, finesseful on defense. All we want to do is punch you in the face.
Yep,
it's just too soft. It's like Hawkinson. Go ahead.
Yeah, they're soft. The Packers are soft,
very,
and we've been soft for a long, long time.
Yep.
We don't have a team that's going to punch you in the face. We run a zone blocking offense, right? So it's based on movement, not punching guys in the face.
Right.
And our defense, we had guys like Dean Lowry before who were gigantic guys who were just supposed to hold up linemen.
Yep.
And we went out and drafted guys who are smaller, quicker, going to move, going to dive into holes. But that's not going to work when you're getting punched in the face.
Not against us.
No, it's not going to work against the Lions.
So as Trevor was not able to be here tonight, but he did actually tape a video. Let's see if we can get this to work here. Let's see.
Look at you with the technology.
I don't know. Here we go.
Hey guys, sorry I can't be there tonight. I didn't want
that working?
Bail on you because I'm not hiding because we lost. Because I'm too upset or anything like that. I just have friends that have shown up and are here from the other side of the country, and I can't make it tonight, so I wish I was there with you. But just wanted to come on and say, I'm not hiding. I think that the Lions just beat us down in every aspect of this game, and so I just want to give congratulations. 7th letter and your Lions, you were better. There's no excuses coming from me. There might be some reasons, but there's no excuses. You guys were better. I did predict that the Lions were going to beat us. I almost nailed the score perfectly in that game as well. Our first half was atrocious. I don't think that we were prepared. But here's the thing about the Lions that I do want to speak to. On last episode, I talked about that I didn't think I thought the Lions defense was good, but not great, like not elite. They played elite against us. They were unbelievably prepared. And one thing I noticed about your defense is they are violent hitters. Like the amount of abuse that you guys caused us was insane. And so that was shocking to me. I knew they were good, but I didn't know they were that good. I knew that we had struggled last year against the pass rush. So that's another reason why I picked you guys to win this week. So congratulations to the Lions, the 7th letter. Now, I was encouraged, though, that we started moving the ball. We made incredible adjustments at halftime, which I was positive about. I mean, when you're getting your butt kicked 27-3, what are the positives here? And so, obviously the halftime adjustments helped, but Aaron Jones was not, only had 5 carries. Watson didn't look great, but that's not an excuse. You guys were better. Here's a couple things about the game that I want to just highlight. What I didn't understand was David Montgomery. Like, I get that he been a Bear and has never beat the Packers before, so he had a lot going. But coming off an injury and you run him 30 plays, I think that's just bad decision making. Personally, obviously he was productive and amazing, and so it was probably his career game, which is great. But I just don't know when you're drafting Gibbs that high, why aren't you giving him the ball more? He could have been effective as well. But Montgomery was a man on a mission, and he destroyed us. But I did like how we started moving the ball. I am encouraged that there is still some development that needs to happen. But Jordan Love is not. He had a really good not passer rating, but completion percentage. I think he was like 63 or 65, which is
that's not good.
Average, and but still couldn't get it done. So. That's the game in a nutshell. I just was shocked at how bad we looked and how good the Lions looked, and you guys deserved it. So, Andy's got my predictions for the NFC North for this week, for week 5. I went 3-0 this week, so I'm still first place in this thing. In fact, I'm really excited about that. So hope you guys are doing well. Hope the podcast is going awesome. And again, congratulations to the Lions. And we are upward and onward, and we're hoping to beat the Raiders on Monday night in Vegas, baby. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm definitely picking the Packers to win that game. So have a great day.
All right, all good stuff there from Trevor. So, any responses on that one?
Well, we kind of was sitting back in the third quarter a little bit, chilling. I wouldn't even call it. We kind of changed the way we played. We wasn't attacking anymore. I think it was like Aaron Glenn was kind of getting back to what he was doing against Seattle a little bit. Then he went right back to it. He didn't do nothing in the fourth quarter.
So I had on Bart Winkler, and I think he's been on here before, and he does a Bart Winkler show. He's been on the radio and everything, and he was after the game kind of making fun of LaFleur for crying at halftime. I don't know about you, Adam. The way LaFleur approached that's kind of what I wanted from a Bears head coach. I mean, what were your thoughts, Adam, on LaFleur's halftime speech?
I'll be honest, I actually missed it. So give me a quick recap. Give me a quick lowdown of what he said.
Dale, go ahead.
I mean, basically, he said we were getting our ass kicked.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's what he said. We're not doing anything right. The problem with LaFleur is he's not a guy like Dan Campbell. If Dan Campbell stood up in a room and started yelling at folks, he'd be like, holy shit, we need to back up out of this room.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You don't get that feeling with Matt LaFleur. You're like, okay, just get it over with. Get it out. You'll be okay.
He was emotional, though, too, right?
He was emotional, and I appreciate that, right? I mean, you need to be pissed about how poorly we played in the first half. Because if you're not, that's a problem, right? That means you don't give a shit. He was emotional about it. It sounded a little whiny and bitchy, but he was right. I mean, they played poorly. They got smashed in the
man. He was mad at the end of everything. Yo, that's a dumbass question.
I tweeted out to
that's the thing I think you just want from any coach or any leader is just be honest with the guys. The guys know when they're getting run up and down the field. Don't try to sugarcoat it or we're just one play here, one play there. No, we got whipped that half. Let's turn it around. No, I go for it, dude. Yeah, absolutely. Don't lie to the players.
Don't do what Bears coach Eberflus has been doing. We're just one play away. We're so close. We're so close. No, you're not. You're not close at all. At all. And
he also lied about the Chase Claypool thing, didn't he?
Oh,
yes.
Yeah. And they peppered him. I mean, they just kept trying to like 20 minutes. I think we're asking the same question. It was needed.
The Bears beat core has been eating him alive for the last couple weeks. He has been looking so bad in those pressers.
Absolutely. Yeah. And we'll kind of get to the Bears in a second. I want to bring Craig, you into this now with the Vikings. So the Vikings did actually pull off a win. I'm not sure how impressed you were with that. Tell me a little bit about what your thoughts were on the Vikings win this past weekend in week 4.
Yeah, actually, I went up to the game and saw it in person, and it's probably the worst quarterbacking performance I've seen since high school. I mean, Kirk Cousins was just god awful in this game. He was slow. He threw multiple interceptions. He looked incompetent, and somehow the team still won because Carolina is just a terrible team. But I mean, it was a fumble recovery for a touchdown that kind of gave us the lead. Midway through, somewhere in the second half, and it was just a terrible played game. It's the worst game the Vikings have played all year, and sadly, it's the only game they've won all year. I was very impressed with the way they've been playing outside of the turnovers through the first 3 weeks, and this game just looked like 2 incompetent teams playing each other.
Oh, wait until you see the Vikings versus the Bears.
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna take it as this anomaly because I've seen Kirk play so damn well this year. I mean, he's still leading the league in passing, I think. So he's still he's played very well this year. That was a terrible game. I'm gonna write it off and hope he turns it around this week. But man, it was just a terrible game. They looked terrible.
You lucky Bryce Young short because he could not see Harrison Smith. I see him. They kept after he blitzed him once, he blitzed him 3 more times after that.
Harrison Smith won that game for him. It was like the only reason.
See him. I'm like, he can't see. He's too small.
He had no idea what was coming every time. I mean, he seemed to not recognize it. Like, I think that's the thing with Bryce Young right now. He's not recognizing anything pre-snap. He's not seeing the movement. And with Brian Flores as your DC, like, he's aggressive. So that was the easy thing to see coming. And the only reason they won was because of the way the defense played. But it's not like they're playing anybody good. Carolina's terrible, so you don't even feel that good about the defense.
I was bugging out. He was hiding right behind what's my man, Nat Hunter. He was hiding right on the side. Did he blitz?
Yeah, I mean, every time he would just sit right behind the outside linebacker and just kind of chill right there.
Crazy. Yeah, that's why I'm a quarterback.
Speaking of something that I think everybody saw coming and still even more depressing, Chicago Bears, after looking amazing, Justin Fields has his best game as a pro. And actually, coincidentally enough, it was his 26th game, I believe, or 29th start. It was Justin Fields' 29th start, and that's when he got his first 300-yard passing game. I'm not sure if you also knew that Josh Allen didn't throw his first 300-yard passing game until his 29th start either. So there we go. We're on track for Josh Allen like production. Adam, what say you?
I think the worst part about the loss was when the Broncos scored to make it 28-14. Right at the end of the third quarter, there was a part in the back of my head that was, you've seen this movie before. Don't get excited yet. And then it just kept snowballing and kept snowballing and kept snowballing. The one thing that I will say in slight defense of Eberflus, that he's catching a ton of heat for the 4th and 1 decision to go for it instead of kicking the field goal. We've all seen it on the other side too, where it's you kick the field goal, then the other team drives down and scores a touchdown as time expires. Then everybody goes, well, why'd you kick the field goal? Why didn't you go for it? It still doesn't excuse that, hey, you needed points. You didn't come away with points. But I think the takeaway lesson is when you lose, every decision you make is wrong. Not only that, like, it's the call, right? He was in shotgun, and I'm sure everybody knew what was going to happen. Like it was shotgun. It was you're taking the ball out of Justin's hands. You're going to Khalil Herbert, and it was okay. It was a read option, so Fields had the potential to keep it, and he properly read that the end stayed wide, said, no, you're not breaking contain on me. That's my job is keep you there. So he handed it off. So they executed it properly there. Darnell Wright missed a block, and that's what blew the whole thing up. But it was, no. Justin, you're running. We're going to run quarterback counter. We're running quarterback power. You are the one taking the ball here, not Khalil Herbert. That was the problem to me.
Well, even like the timeouts, right? Like they were, I feel like they were trying to kind of get them off sides, right? And then there might've been a little bit like if they would have just kind of, he tapped the center and, there might've been a little bit enough there to get a first down, right?
It was very strange, definitely atypical clock management at the very end there. Yeah, they lined up to try to draw him off sides, didn't get him, so they burned a timeout, had the kicking unit out there, and said, never mind, kicking unit, come on back, we're going to send the offense out there. So the whole thing felt – it honestly, it almost felt like he was pandering to the crowd. And when you start doing that, you're hosed. You can't let the crowd dictate your decision making. You know, you just can't do that. So yeah, the whole thing was kind of a masterclass in how not to handle the end game situation.
Well, Craig, I wanted to ask you, Justin Fields had a 4-touchdown game, 300 passing yards. Are you ready to admit you were wrong on Justin Fields, that he is a great quarterback?
Absolutely not. I think the opposite of what happened to Kirk Cousins is what happened to Justin Fields this week. It's funny, he had his best game of the season and lost, and I think Kirk had his worst game of the season and won. But even the bad quarterbacks have a good game here and there. Doesn't
it speak more to coaching though? Like, would you trust Kevin O'Connell over Eberflus?
Oh yeah, I mean, I wouldn't trust Eberflus over anybody pretty much in the NFL right now. I mean, I think he's a terrible coach. I mean, he doesn't play to his players' strengths at all. I mean, he's just terrible. I mean,
I'll take that as a half, saying you like Fields, but all right. Seventh letter.
I think he might be competent if he played for an actual coach that was good.
Hey, I'll take that. I'll take that as a win. I appreciate that. So what about you, seventh letter?
It's the Justin Fields thing, man. Like he fumbles, he throws interceptions. Like it's a lot. Like he's dynamic, and his coach doesn't put him in the best situations at all. But you say you want to you want to play free, you want to do this and that. You see the guy coming, don't try to throw the ball, tuck that bitch away, take the sack. You don't fumble and get it picked up for a touchdown. The last play, the one when he called the timeout, I think it was like 2:57 left. Justin Fields was throwing 80%. I did not know the Broncos were so bad defensively. I mean, that wasn't they had a good defense. That's one thing they had, even when the offense wasn't moving. And I don't know what happened, but he's 80%. He's the best player on the field today. Keep the ball in his hands. Let him throw. Everybody's expecting him to do some type of read option or something. Make some shit up. Make him a play action or let him throw something. He's throwing great today. He's supremely confident even after the interception and fumble. Let him throw.
Here's what I worry about.
I don't understand that. I don't understand him. I'm not watching no more Bear games. I'm just not. I can't.
Well, you got 2 more you got to watch, right?
Yeah, I guess. But
here's what I worry about, and maybe Adam, you could shed a little bit of light on this. So, like, I realize these players are professionals, and Justin Fields is professional, but you have to wonder sometimes if if the coaches have lost the players, right? Eberflus has lost these players, even. He's saying all the things, up front, but I just wonder if he's kind of like, well, I'm not going to make you look good. Like, I don't know if that's a thing, Adam, or if I'm just kind of like throwing that out there.
Self-preservation time, man.
Yeah. We're bordering very close on the, self-preservation or the paycheck moments where you start seeing guys pull up from making a hit because they know I can't afford to get hurt right now. It was funny this past week. I heard Olin Kreutz talk about it, and he felt like that actually the first 3 quarters were proof that he hasn't lost the locker room yet because they came out and played with so much. But man, when it's a 14-game losing streak and your message is constantly like, we're close. You're close to what? You're going backwards every week. They were closer to winning a game a year ago than they are now, it feels like. So yeah, it does feel like the results keep going backwards, which would make you feel like that he is losing the locker room, that he is. I mean, look at the Chase Claypool situation. You had a guy who you traded for, you specifically made it a point. Now, yeah, part of it was to keep him away from the Packers, but here was a guy that you specifically wanted to go out and get, and he's calling you out and saying, yeah, you guys aren't using me correctly. Oh yeah, we don't want you here anymore. Go stay home. We don't want you here anymore. You don't have the locker room if that sort of crap is going on.
What was more telling is when he was asked what transpired, he gave away that the conversations with Chase Claypool were both over the phone. Like, how, you want to be a player's coach, get yourself in front of that player, don't just do it in a text or in a phone call. Get yourself in front of them. If you don't feel safe in front of them, I mean, hello, you've got security. So I don't know, that whole just was it. The locker room has to be lost. I mean, they're saying everything they need to, but it's just going to be interesting to see what happens with Claypool, whether they cut him. Obviously, they haven't yet this week, or I just don't know if they could cut him or what the best move forward is.
Oh, there's no reason at this point. It's another referendum on this coaching staff that they haven't already cut him. All right, yes. Poles is doing his due diligence of, hey, maybe somebody will give us something for him. Sure.
On a 6 for him?
Sure. Great. Yeah. I'll take a 2025 7th. Sure. Something's better than nothing at this point. But that ship, that takes all of a day for that to know that, okay, the other 31 general managers, nobody's giving you anything. Okay, here's your pink slip. You're out the door. Goodbye. See ya. We don't need you. And frankly, the offense did better on Sunday without him than they did with him. So we don't need you. We don't need your drama. I'm the boss here. See ya. They haven't done that. That's another problem with Eberflus is you're keeping him out of the building. You're not having him practice. But man, you kind of got to take assertive action here on this. You got to take ownership of the situation. You're not doing that. I
think it was a little bit telling as well that Fields did say he was going to keep in contact with him.
Yeah. Yeah. Fields had a long conversation with him too. Yeah. So it's, you keep that dynamic around, and Fields has already expressed that he's not happy with the coaches. Now he maybe worked it out with Getsy. Maybe he didn't, but you keep him in contact with somebody that clearly doesn't like Getsy, that's not going to help your quarterback out. So that's a bad situation there.
Damn, that's like a soap opera in Chicago.
Yeah.
Damn.
I joked the other night on another show on our network that there's a telenovela show that's coming up and taking notes on the situation. It's bad.
This is a reality show. This is Love and Hip Hop.
Well, speaking of possibly bad, let's kind of get into this week, Thursday Night Football, Bears versus the Commanders. Adam,
guys got it in for Amazon, man. What type of shit is that?
Al Michaels is going to be going, who the hell did I piss off that I've got this game 2 years in a row?
2 years in a row.
What type of shit is that?
So, Adam, tell me there's a path to the Bears winning on Thursday.
All right. The path is Justin Fields says, screw it. Screw the Commanders. Screw Getsy. Screw Eberflus. I'm winning a damn football game. And he just balls out. The Commanders defense, once you get past the line, that defense is suspect. DJ Moore can get open on these guys. Darnell Mooney can get open on these guys. If you can figure out a way to pass protect, if you got to keep in 9, you got to keep in 9, just have DJ running a route all by himself out there. If you can protect, you can get open on these guys. So that's the path, is take what happened those first 3 quarters, roll them out, get them on the move, make it easy decisions for him. That's how you can win this game, and somehow keep Chase Young busy. Keep Chase Young away from him somehow.
What about you, Dale? Are you thinking the Bears have any shot at winning this game?
No, they have no chance of winning this game. I told you for like years. I've been on the Justin Fields bandwagon until I thought, again, say this a million times on your show, that he has the athletic ability to do it. He doesn't have it, whatever it is, and he is going to have a hard time with the pressure. The Denver Broncos gave up 70 to Miami.
70.
Thank you. 70 to Miami. That's a bad team. That's why Justin Fields had a nice game. Not because I just don't think he has it. Whatever it is, he doesn't have it. I think the Bears are in trouble. They're already starting to do what you said before. They're starting to play like, man, I need to protect my body, see if I can play next year for somebody else.
For real.
I think they're already in shutdown mode. And I think that, yes, Eberflus was a bad hire. Nobody knew it, but now you know. I think there's so many negatives to this Bears season. They're going to get relegated to the CFL. That's what's going to happen.
Ooh, not even the USFL?
Well, it is merged,
Sorry.
so we'll see what it's called.
Oh, right. Yeah, the UXSF
Combined league. They'll get,
something,
Yeah,
they'll
the
be
Rocks
champ.
League, man.
Champ.
Dwayne Johnson League.
So Dale, you're picking the obviously picking the Commanders.
Yes.
I
It's gonna
think
be by
I'm
two
kind of
scores
reading
or
between
more.
the lines here a little bit, but okay.
Was that
He had
too
to flip a
subtle?
coin.
Yeah, and the seventh letter, you're picking the Bears, right?
I don't know what y'all offensive line gonna do with Montez Sweat, Chase Young, freaking Jonathan Allen. Like I just don't know. It's too much up there.
We have somebody coming back, I think.
That don't matter.
I was going to say Jenkins might
Kevin
play
Jenkins
tomorrow
might
night.
come back.
All right, well, I hope so. I hope somebody. I just don't. I think they got too many weapons at receiver too, man. And they gave the Eagles all they could handle last week. And I'm sure, even though they lost, I'm sure that built their confidence up. They I won't say that they're well coached, but they play with a lot of pride. And Howell is the real deal. He's not. He stood toe to toe with Hurts last week. He played his ass off. Dotson, Scary Terry.
I like him.
You got to, man. I'm starting Terry McLaurin in my fantasy this week because he gonna get busy on y'all. So I don't know. I don't see a way. I don't see Justin Fields having the type of game he had last week. Y'all got too much going on, man. Y'all got too much going on.
There's a lot going on. Yeah.
I thought it was over. I thought he put, everybody's on the Justin Fields bandwagon again. They back on his, they back on him again. But I mean, what I saw, I never doubted his talent. It's just when it matters. He always chooses to fumble and throw an interception in the third, fourth quarter all the time. And with all this heat that y'all about to get tomorrow, they rush the passer.
Here's the thing, though, and I get it that quarterback gets a ton of he gets all the blame, right? But when you look at some of these plays, when you actually break down, I mean, Cole Kmet, right? He basically broke off that route. And he kind of talked about how he ran it a little bit longer to get the first down. And so there should be more communication between Kmet and Fields. So that's on Fields, obviously the fumble, but I'm still on Fields because a lot of it is coaching, putting them in the best position, and I heard Packer fans, talk about, LaFleur didn't, do love, any favors by the game plan, things like that. So Fields does need to, I think he just needs to say F it and just, kind of just like, I'm going to take control of my career. I'm going to take control. I'm going to get this W. And that's one thing that I'm not seeing yet, that he just has, he's just going to say, okay, he's being a little bit too submissive with coaches. I mean, you kind of seen that, Adam?
Yeah. He wants to respect the coaches because they are the coaches. That's what you're supposed to do. That is the proper thing to do. I will say on the sack fumble, I felt like that was less on Justin and more on for the love of God, will somebody block, because that was a free release blitzer that nobody had accounted for. It was just somebody make that blitzer change his direction a half second. The interception, though, at the very end, I do unfortunately put that on. Yes, it was a miscommunication, but Komet actually ran it correctly. Denver, for the defense, Denver was running a cover 1 on that play. And so Komet was supposed to cut over and drag the defender behind him. And Justin was expecting him to just sit down like it was cover 2 or cover 3. So that is unfortunately a miscommunication, and Fields read it wrong. And that's, to 7 degrees, that's kind of to your point. The second half numbers for Fields are always lower than his first half numbers. He'll have a good stretch in the first half, and then it comes out in the second half, and it's like, what happened? What happened? Put it together. So, but yeah, if he can just get the coaching staff to be on the same page with him for 4 entire quarters, he's got talent. He has the talent.
It's almost like I think obviously there's some rumors, basically just Twitter rumors about him being traded to the Falcons. I think, unfortunately, you get these players and they go to a different environment, with Nicholas Morrow and Roquan Smith, they're both balling out other places. So that's
was good for y'all.
What's that?
He was good for y'all.
Roquan was, yes, but he's even more so, right? But even Nicholas Morrow.
But he's surrounded by more talent.
That's part of it. And that's organizationally, I think that's, these players kind of go. So I think, maybe Fields does kind of go somewhere next year. We'll kind of see how things shake out.
You know what? The sad part, what's sad? I know you love Justin Fields, but
I love him. I've got a shirt. Yes.
Great quarterback.
I'm wearing it right
for the
now.
Atlanta Falcons.
I think he would be.
So
I think he would be.
It's not going to be for y'all.
Arthur Smith, I like him too. Yeah.
It's the Geno Smith thing. It's the Jared Goff thing. Like, he just needs a new start. And then and he's talented enough to go somewhere if he's in the right environment, good offensive coordinator, somebody, even with like somebody like a Jim Caldwell, somebody that knows how to speak to quarterbacks, you know what I'm saying? Like, somebody with the ability to communicate with him. Give him some fire. Like, he need like what's my man name that used to be the coach of the Bucks? Like, I don't know what he do, but he throwing that ball deep.
Bruce Arians?
Yeah. He needs somebody like that. He don't need this guy that goes up on to the podium every day and lie and just act like he don't care. That nonchalant, that shit gets on my nerves.
He needs Mike Tomlin. We need Mike Tomlin.
Like, I want all that. That's why I like this is why I like my coach. I said it last week. When he cried, I knew he cared. They made fun of him, but when he cried, I knew, this is the one. He the one. He's the one.
Adam, is this the one where the Bears win this week? Are you picking the Bears?
Man, because of the way they lost on Sunday, had they won on Sunday, I'd be saying yes, they win again. It's a short turnaround. Yes, they turn around. Because of the way they lost on Sunday, it's so hard to pick them. I'm gonna go ahead and pick them, if for no other reason than it's so damn hard to lose 15 in a row in the NFL. Eventually, even the snake eyes, eventually you keep rolling the dice long enough, they have to stop rolling snake eyes. Eventually.
I lost more than that before.
You got any advice for getting through a 16-game losing streak?
Like I told my Packers, like it's tough, man. Rebuilds are tough. Especially when you look at it like it's the whole looking at shit on paper, like, oh man, we should be better than people think. Like, no, it's hard, man. It's hard. It's hard. This is why I'm so happy now, talking all my shit and all that.
Craig, are you
wearing a crown on your head every day?
We should get one for you. Craig, are you you're picking the Commanders, obviously, right?
No, I am never picking the Bears for the rest of the season. They are losing every game the rest of the season.
That's possibly true, other than against the Panthers. We'll see about that.
No, I think it's I think the defense for the Bears and secondary is so beat up right now. Like you're missing a couple key starters there too, so that doesn't help. And Howell's playing pretty good. And
Jalen Johnson's out.
So I mean,
Eddie Jackson's out.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. You're missing half your secondary.
Yeah.
And so that passing offense is good enough to take advantage of it. They're not the best, but they're good enough. So I
Yes.
think that's going to be the biggest thing. So I actually expect
They might beat the Raiders.
Hey, I was going to say Al Michaels might be happy. I think this might actually possibly be a high-scoring game.
Raiders, Panthers.
So
I could see it being something like 32 to like 24 or something like that. Like I could see some points being put up.
Raiders, Panthers, Cardinals. Those are your winnable games.
Raiders,
Cardinals
Panthers,
beat the Cowboys though.
Yeah,
I don't know. That's what the most egregious thing about this. I feel like some of these other teams are showing fight, right?
Right. Like the Cardinals have no one. But they playing out of their minds. They leaving everything on the field. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't see that in y'all. I saw y'all lay down last week. I saw that.
Last couple weeks, whole
last
season
2
so
weeks
far.
for sure. Yeah.
So let's move on to Craig, the Vikings. They got their first win. I've been told by a few people. Dale did obviously, or sorry, Trevor did pick the Commanders, but Trevor is actually picking the Vikings to win this game. So what is your path then, Craig, to the Vikings barbecuing the Chiefs?
I mean, I don't think this game is unwinnable. I mean, the Chiefs haven't been great this entire season. They almost lost to the Jets. They're not playing great right now. There's obviously a lot of distractions going on with everything, the circus that is going on with the off the field stuff. So I mean, I think there's a chance that the Vikings play. If they play well, they can beat them. If they play well and don't turn the ball over, they haven't done that at any game this year. So I mean, it's hard to say. Absolutely, yes, that's going to happen. I'm going to pick them because I can see that path, but and I just don't want to give up on the season yet. It's probably my purple glasses, coming in, but I'm going to pick them 31-28, and I think they get the job done at home. And I think the Chiefs a little bit are kind of waiting for the postseason. It almost seems like, and they're almost not putting as much effort, it seems, into these games. They seem. I don't know. They're not playing crisp. They're not sharp as they usually are. They're not as where you expect them to be right now. So I think that it's a winnable game. I think it's still more likely the Chiefs win, but I think it's a 55-45 chance.
Didn't one of the Vikings players talk trash about?
Byron Murphy Jr. is an idiot. He just got roasted by Keenan Allen a few weeks ago, and now he's saying he's gonna talk shit to Kelsey about his dating choices here, and I don't know what I don't know what you would say other than you're dating somebody who's extremely successful and beautiful, and I mean, what are you talking shit about? I don't understand. Like, you have a really awesome girlfriend, like, okay, like, I don't.
Trevor is listening. Says shocking. Craig picks the Vikings to win. Hey, that's all right.
Yeah,
it's almost as shocking as me picking the Bears, but there you go.
I can't not pick them.
So what about you, Adam? Are you picking the Vikings to win this week?
Vikings, you got your first win. Congratulations. Here to the defending champs. I've got to pick the Chiefs in this one. I do agree, though, that the Chiefs don't look right.
Yeah.
They should not have been in that game with the Jets. That should have been a much easier win than it was. Their wide receivers are completely MIA. They have 7 catches from wide receivers on the season. I mean, they don't have any wide receivers to speak of. And as we all very well know, that play caller there for the Chiefs is not the most savvy of dudes. He seems to just pick them at random and run from there. So,
hey, Adam, I believe, Matt Nagy, you were talking about Matt Nagy, but I believe the Chiefs are 1 trade away from regaining their form, trading for Chase Claypool, and just then go on a run.
Sure. Absolutely. Yes. Yeah. Whatever they want to give the Bears. Great. A 7th round pick in 2030. Outstanding. Great. We'll take it.
So what about you, 7th letter? Are you going to go ahead and pick the Vikings here, or are you on the Chiefs?
I'm not, no one's really afraid of the Chiefs anymore, but the Vikings can't stop the run. So I see a lot of Pacheco, They just can't stop the run. I don't know. The Jets have a good defense, so I didn't think that the game would be a blowout. It was, they did make Zach look good, look competent, for a minute until he messed it up like I knew he would eventually. But yeah, they can't stop the run. So I don't know. The defense, they blitz a lot, but Pat Mahomes, he's not he's not he's not Bryce Young. So I don't know. It might get ugly. It might not get ugly because they don't, use wide receivers there. So I don't know. I don't see the Vikings beating them. No. I see them taking Justin Jefferson out. They can kind of match up with them because they got speedy cornerbacks over there. So they match up well with the receivers over there. So I don't know. It's not. I don't see it being a high scoring. I see them blitzing the shit out of Kirk Cousins and hitting them a lot. So I know that.
That's what they do.
So,
yeah.
I see a few picks again.
How's that line doing, Craig?
It's actually doing better. It's not great. There's still spots that are iffy. I mean, I think your guard spots are still bad. But I mean, statistically, they're actually performing much better than it seems like the fan base thinks. It's just when they miss horribly, and it looks bad.
And that guard against Chris Jones, that's probably the worst place you want to be. So they're gonna make y'all one-dimensional and beat.
It's something that the Vikings have been dealing with for 5 years. It seems like, and so they haven't had a good interior offensive line in Kirk Cousins' entire career in Minnesota. So I mean, it's something they've been dealing with, and I mean, just limited effectiveness in the last couple of years. But it's I don't know. I never seem too worried about the big defensive tackle on the other side because our guards get beat by every defensive tackle, so it's almost like the same every week. I know it's kind of weird to say, but we're always getting our ass kicked inside. So what's the difference?
Dale, do you think the Vikings have a shot versus the Chiefs?
I don't think it'll be a blowout. I think that what Adam said is perfect. They don't have wide receivers in Kansas City right now. If they can't get the ball to Travis Kelce, there aren't a whole lot of options to throw the ball. But Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes, right? I think he finds a way to get the ball to guys even when they're not open. He's throwing the ball from all kinds of arm angles. He's unbelievable. I don't hate on the Vikings. I don't think they're terrible, but I don't think they can win this game. I think it's something like 31-21, somewhere in there. I don't think it's a blowout. I think it's going to be relatively close.
And maybe it's because they look good against the Bears, but I do like that Chiefs defense. And I just, I'm not going to start Kirk Cousins versus the Chiefs defense. I'm just not going to. No. So I'm actually going to go ahead and pick the Chiefs. I'm going to stay on that bandwagon there for the Chiefs. So let's go ahead and we'll do the Lions last. So we'll save the best for last, the Kings of the North, the last. So Packers, are they going to win on Monday night? Obviously they were sacked quite a bit. I mean, are you worried at all, Dale, by Max Crosby and the Raiders at all?
I mean, Max Crosby is fine. I mean, he's fine. They're not going to put the same pressure on the quarterback that Detroit did. That's not a thing. Mm-hmm. This is a matchup of two really mediocre teams. And the Raiders aren't very good. The Packers aren't very good. The Raiders can't run the ball with Josh Jacobs. The Packers can't run the ball either. It's crazy. I think Peter said it on our show. I think Josh Jacobs is averaging like 2.6 or 2.7 yards per carry right now. Something ugly like that. A guy that was, in the rushing title challenge last year. I think the Packers will win this game. I think it's going to be ugly, 21-17, 20-17. It's going to be right in there. It's going to be, can we turn them over at least once? Whether it's Jimmy G playing or their backup, it doesn't matter. Rashawn Gary should eat the Raiders line for lunch. I mean, he played well against Taylor Decker, who is a very good tackle in this league. The Raiders don't have that. So I think we'll put pressure on the quarterback, but we still got to try to figure out how to run the football, which we absolutely cannot do.
What's up with Dylan, man?
Yeah.
Terrible.
Yeah.
What's up?
AJ Dillon is a straight ahead runner, right?
He needs a better O-line.
Big dude.
Yeah.
And he needs to run between the tackles. We right now have a terrible center and 2 terrible guards. He can't run wide. I mean, it's the absolute recipe for disaster for him because he can't make his own holes. He needs a hole to run through, and there are none. He's not. We were talking about it on our podcast too. I just don't know what the answer is for him in the league, not just in Green Bay. He's on a rookie contract. His rookie contract is almost up. What do you do with a 250-pound running back in this league? They really don't exist.
Yeah.
He's a fast guy, but he's not a nifty guy. You got to make your own holes in this league. You got to be able to make that guy miss, and AJ Dillon can't make a guy miss.
Like I almost think of obviously the boss, Jerome Bettis, right? But he was able to make his own holes, and he was really fast. He was sneaky fast.
Yeah. They had a different, it wasn't a zone blocking scheme either.
Right.
So
right.
They need power run,
Exactly.
So they'll probably thrive in that type of atmosphere.
I don't know where he fits in the league, AJ Dillon, after this year. He's got to play for a Philadelphia or somebody like that who's just going to maul a Lions team. That's what Patriots. He needs to run behind.
Yeah.
Well, definitely in a timeshare, right? It's not going to be he's going to be, yeah.
He's never RB1.
No.
Nope.
Tennessee, if they decide to move on from King Henry.
Yeah, that kind of team is who AJ Dillon needs to play for. That's exactly right.
Yeah, I can see that.
It.
7th letter. Are you going to go ahead? You're picking the Packers.
Yeah, I don't fuck with the Raiders at all.
You just want to talk shit to your buddy afterwards.
He's a cheater. He sucks as a coach. I don't like no Patriots.
I thought you were talking about your friend. I was like, holy cow! All right.
I just don't. I don't mess with the Raiders. They got a cheating coach. He's gonna destroy the team like Patricia did ours, just like he's doing now. You get rid of one guy who's the exact same guy as the one you picked up. They're the same person. Derek Carr and Jimmy Garoppolo is the same guy.
Jimmy G's going to be out, isn't he?
He had a concussion. He might be back.
No, they'll. So here's my prediction. I think Aiden O'Connell, actually Devontae Adams is going to make Aiden O'Connell star on Monday night. And the Raiders are going to beat the Packers.
From your lips to God here, man.
There you go.
No. Packers going to beat the shit out the Raiders. They might.
I don't know if the Packers have it in them, other than
they beat the shit out of y'all.
I was just going to say that. Other than everyone is calling the Bears now. It sucks to hear, but other than a JV team, other than, a roster so void of talent and void of coaching that it can't find itself out of a wet paper bag, basically.
Yeah. You just need a better defensive coach, man. You need a better coach. He doesn't have it. I thought he did. Because you guys, it seemed like you guys, even though you weren't winning last year, you guys were playing hard, at least. Y'all played the Eagles good. Once I saw that, I'm like, all right, they got pride. You know what I mean? Not this year.
And that's the thing. They tried to change Justin Fields, footwork and everything. They tried to change things. And so coaching, unfortunately, can, make or break a young player, young quarterback. And we'll see on Friday if the Bears lose.
Watch out for that proximity privilege, man. Aaron Rodgers make everybody look good.
Well, here's the thing, and obviously we're talking about the Packers now, but here's the question is on Chicago radio is, if Eberflus is fired on Friday, do you fire the whole staff or do you make Luke Getsy the interim head coach because, he showed a little bit of promise, this past week offensively, and then that he's an interim so they can just move off him at the end of the season. I don't know what.
You know what? If you do, it'll give you guys a reason to
be bad.
We lost. We didn't have a coach. We're going, we're tanking, but the fans will respect that. He does not deserve to be working. I would get fired for that.
Yes.
The players would
practice, man. I would be at the unemployment office in the morning. 4 weeks in a row I perform that way.
Yeah.
My quarterback having a game in his life, and I single-handedly ruin it. Like, that's crazy. I want Justin Fields to do good, not against us. But come on, man. Come on, man.
Come on, man.
The players would respect it too, because they'd recognize that, hey, okay, there is some accountability here. You can't just suck for a year at a time and, that's fine. We never fire anybody mid-season, so you never pass to the end of the year. Just simply, we know you're no good. We're going to get rid of you, but stay here because, well, it's not time to fire you yet.
Hey, he's not even.
If he's not the right guy for the job, he's not the right guy for the job. Get him out of there. Pick anybody else on the staff and say interim. Yes, because that's the argument some people are making is, well, there's nobody else on that staff that's good enough. Who cares? That's why it's the interim.
Yes.
You know he's not there.
Right.
You're a placeholder. Yeah. That's all your job is just to try to get the bad one out. You know,
that's the record with an interim coach. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yep. So pick one of and I mean, when you have Peter King of all people, you know,
nicest man.
You know, when it's I forget who the reporter was with Nagy that last year, where report came out that, hey, they're going to get rid of him after Thanksgiving. It was somebody that wasn't even a sports guy, but was a reputable reporter. This is Peter King that went on the radio in Chicago and said, you know, it wouldn't surprise me if they axe him after this game on Thursday. Man, that's Peter King. He's one of the reporters nationally.
This is how dysfunctional this organization is as well, because I don't know if you guys all remember that. I mean, it's interesting you bring that up, Adam. But yeah, that report came out, and then it was it McCaskey came into the locker room and basically, you know, squashed that rumor, and it didn't happen. Is that kind of what you remember, Adam?
Yeah, what it felt like was they were going to do it. It leaked out, and it was shit. Well, they found out. Quick, undo it. No, never mind. We're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. Ha, we'll prove you wrong. And it's
stupid. Yeah.
Let that stadium be half full.
Yeah. Well,
it's not going to be, unfortunately. Yeah.
It might happen anyway, but
yeah,
but yeah, this feels like it's got more teeth behind it, where when you've got actual national football NFL reporters being willing to go on the radio and say, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets fired. There's teeth behind it. There's something to it.
Well, Adam, is there teeth behind the Packers winning, getting back to them versus the Raiders?
Yes, I do. I must take Green Bay here, as much as it pains me to do so. The Raiders are bad. The Raiders are really, really bad.
They're like the West Coast, y'all.
Well, you know, you go out there and you have a good time, but you know, it's they moved to Vegas, and they lost their edge. You know, you'd go to Oakland, it'd be like, oh God, just get us out of here. We want nothing to do with this. Man, everybody goes to Vegas. You know, there's people from Toronto at this game. There's people from Minnesota. There's people from Jacksonville. There's people from everywhere, because Vegas is a great tourist town, but that means you lose your edge. You're not going to the black hole anymore. Josh McDaniels is,
I don't know why he's still coach.
Not a competent head coach. Not quite as bad as Eberflus, but he's down there. He's bad. Aiden O'Connell might turn into a quality play that, you know, you feel comfortable playing him 2 or 3 games a year while your starter's hurt or something, kind of a guy. Right now, that pass rush could make it a long night for Aiden O'Connell and could frustrate Devontae Adams, because it's like, dude, just throw the ball, get it to me somehow. But yeah, I see Green Bay when Green Bay won't pull away. They're not strong enough to pull away, but yeah, they should win something like 24-17, something like that.
Yeah. Craig, what about you?
Yeah, I think very similarly. You know, Green Bay's not a great team, but the Raiders are just a bad team. So that's a game the Green Bay should win. You know, I think something very similar, 24-17, something like that. The Raiders just aren't capable of beating very many teams right now. They're just a bad team. either quarterback plays. I don't think the offense is very good. Green Bay's it's a mid-level team right now, so I think they're good enough to win on the road.
It's so interesting, you talk about some of these bad teams. Obviously, the Bears, Raiders are in that, and the Bears have never fired a coach midseason, but it's almost like you want to get a head start on some of the good coaching candidates, and if the Bears are to continue losing, hopefully they would get start to clean house sooner than later. So because when you look at Las Vegas, I mean, as a city, I'd say it's almost more attractive than Chicago. I mean, obviously Green Bay, Chicago, we like to say, oh, we're original franchises, but there's so much else that goes into this stuff now for free agents, for coaches, everything kind of set up. It just with the ownership of the Bears, it's tough to draw someone, with the ownership, just how it's kind of fumbled. And obviously the Raiders are close with how they pretty much messed things up for a long time as well.
Yeah. The Davis family isn't that far away from the McCaskey family of figuring out ways to bollocks the situation.
Well, let's move on to the Lions, seventh letter. All right. So what is the path to the Lions keeping it rolling versus the winless Panthers this week? The current Kings of the North. Hopefully they're going to roll versus the Panthers and help the Bears out with the draft pick as well.
Yeah. Well, I'm not. They're one of those people that I want. Like I wanted the Seahawks, and I wanted them. They beat us pretty badly last year. Yeah, I think they had 300 yards rushing on us, but we couldn't stop them for nothing. So, I'm not sleeping on the Panthers at all. If they take the ball out of the quarterback's hands and they just hand the pill off like they did on us last year, it can get ugly like it did. So,
well, they don't have Dante Foreman. That was a Dante Foreman game, wasn't it?
It was, right. He killed us. Actually, anybody that handed the ball off.
I was to say, Adam, I think that's the path to the Bears beating the Lions. To give it.
Yeah, well, they're saving him for the Lions because he's been inactive the last 3 years.
Him and Chase Claypool are playing video games together.
There you go.
So seventh letter, your Lions are winning.
Yeah,
now?
I think it's favorable for us because they have a young quarterback, and we'll just hide our safety. Beside Aiden Hutchinson, 6'6", and blitz him.
Right. I think if this isn't if it's not a letdown, I think the Lions who keep it rolling. I mean, use the momentum, and I think Jameson Williams will be back as well.
Yeah, and now you're gonna finally see how we plan to use Jahmyr Gibbs. I think they were kind of saving him. He's a little reckless. He get hit too hard. You know what I'm saying? I think they're gonna, when you got that kind of speed. All I need him to do is run straight and pull those safeties back, and then we can really do some things underneath. I think this is a big game for Laporta. Last year, our tight ends got off pretty good against him. So I see it kind of being another Falcons game. We just irritate the young quarterback and 35-10 or something like that. It should be kind of convincing.
Trevor is also picking the Lions. What about you, Dale?
I don't know how. What would you do if you're the Lions coach? You just do the exact same thing you did on Thursday. You do that same thing to the Panthers. You just bludgeon them to death. They can't stop you. And they can't run the ball against Detroit either. I think they ran for 60 yards against Minnesota last week. So they're not going to do anything against the Lions on offense either. It's going to be something like seventh letter said, 31-10, 35-10. It's not going to be close.
Well, so, obviously then kind of comparing Craig, comparing the Lions and the Vikings. The Lions are clearly the class of the division. But how did the Panthers then stop the Vikings offense?
I think it was just really, really poor play by Kirk and a few offensive linemen that kind of sunk the Vikings offense Sunday. I'm not convinced this Lions team is by far the class of the division. I think right now they are playing the best, and we're 4 games into the season. But they're obviously better than the Panthers. I think the Panthers and the Bears are the 2 worst teams in the league. And the Panthers just have nothing going on in offense. I mean, they couldn't run the ball against the Vikings. The Vikings suck at run defense.
So you're picking the Lions.
Bryce Young's not beating anybody right now. He's just not reading the ball, reading the defense fast enough. He's not. The game hasn't slowed down for him yet. He looks like he's not ready. And so I just don't see any way they could beat anybody right now outside the Bears. So the Lions are going to win, and I think it's going to be pretty convincingly 31-13. I think it's an easy win for the Lions.
So if I'm reading into a little bit of what you're saying, because I think you said the Packers were kind of a mediocre team, Bears are, worst, one of the worst teams in the division. I would say that you're saying the Vikings are pretty close to those Lions.
I would say the Vikings have not played well this year, but I think they are a mediocre to maybe above average team. I think the Lions are a mediocre to above average team. I don't think this division's very good.
Ooh, seventh letter.
Well, hold up. I like to. So I'm looking at the 3-0 teams. The teams that they played are combined 4-12, and you crown them. We played tougher teams than anybody that they played. Anybody that they played. Even the Chiefs without Kelsey was better than everybody that San Francisco and the Cowboys.
Without Chandler Jones also.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Without Christian, whatever. They still was better than the Giants, Jets, and whoever these clowns, all those clowns they played. So, I mean, I know we're better than the Vikings. Because even if we beat the shit out of y'all last year, and we should have won the first time.
Bears almost beat the Vikings last year as well.
Like,
so yeah.
Vikings,
everybody almost beat the Vikings last year.
You barely won last week. Barely.
No, it was the worst game they played. Yeah, like I said, and I don't think that the team is playing very well right now. I think if the Lions played the Vikings this week, the Lions would win, no matter where that game is played. But I think it's a very it's 4 games into a 17-game season, so I think we're a long ways of seeing sustained success from the Lions. And I know they played well at the end of last year too, but. I don't know. I'm still not a believer that they're the great team.
I guess we got to beat y'all first. See you at.
You probably if you gotta wait until week 15, 16, or whatever 16, I think it is. So that's the time they play. So
I can't wait until Bears.
It's gonna be a whole
Vikings
different year by the time that happens.
Yeah.
I really can't wait till Bears Vikings. I think Justin Fields has it in him. I think Justin Fields.
He could run. He could put. You saw what Daniel Jones did to that defense last year.
You are verging.
He could put up 200 yards,
bro.
I'm still on the Justin Fields train.
I see.
I'm still here. I am
too.
I
am too. I'm close to closer to the exit than I'd like to be, but I'm still there. I'm still on it. So,
and you know what, Adam? You know what I take comfort in is that Justin Fields has a 4 touchdown passing game, which Dale, I don't think Jordan Love has yet, does he?
How many starts has Justin Fields had?
I'm just
31 starts.
I'm just sharing facts, So
when it happens, it'll be when Jordan Love gets his 4 touchdowns. It'll be like in half as many games as it took Justin Fields to do that. Probably less.
All right, so let's look at the schedule real quick. It's obviously we got been pretty long tonight. I appreciate everything here, but so when you look at the schedule, when is that 4 touchdown pass coming versus which team? Let me see if I can pull this up.
We don't play the Bears till like week 17, and you all have given up by then, but it'll happen before then. I don't have the schedule in front of me. I will send you a message. I will put it on the Twitters.
Let me see if I can find
Guarantee
it here. All right, so he didn't do it versus the Bears in week 1, which he had. So he got Vegas, not doing 4 touchdowns or
this week in Vegas.
Denver.
Maybe
that
Denver.
week 6 looks
might
real
have 9
promising.
touchdowns against Denver. I don't know.
He might the Vikings. They can't stop anybody either. So
there's so many opportunities. I just see so many opportunities for 4 touchdowns on this schedule.
I am really looking forward to that.
Jordan Love, game manager. I'm still with that.
You are the expert as a Bears fan on mediocre to bad quarterback play. So I get it.
We know it when we smell it, don't we?
I really can't argue with that. I wish I could, but yeah. Well, I appreciate you coming on. Dale, where can everyone find you again?
Again, at AvgCheese. We dropped an episode tonight. You can find us on Spotify and all the places you listen to podcasts.
Awesome. And seventh letter?
Seventh letter 4 on X, Twitter. Same OG on Instagram and Facebook, and on top of the NFC North.
And what about you, Craig? Where can everyone find you again?
Yeah, dailynorseman.com and on Twitter at GA_Skol.
And our guest, Adam Karnick, Bears fan, where can everyone find you?
At Adam_Karnick, also part of IE Sports Radio, Chi-Town Weekly, Monday nights, 7 o'clock Central. Talk a lot of Bears, but I get to Cubs and Sox and Bulls and Blackhawks, all that wonderful stuff too. So.
Oh, we got a lot of Lion stuff here. It was distracting here. Yes, the Cubs a little bit depressing. All that stuff. Chicago sports is depressing.
This past week was just awful.
It was. We've got Connor Bedard coming. Not that I really watch hockey all that much, but and the Brewers are done, so we can take solace in all of that as well. But like, subscribe, comment, definitely follow everyone here on socials. I appreciate all of you guys. And until next week, once again, it's been Freezin 4 NFC North Podcast. And let's go week 5. Have a great night, guys.
All right. Have a good week.